Self-awareness is a double-edged sword. It can cut you or it can cleanse you. Most of the guys I speak to that resonate with me, that are drawn to, honestly, that are drawn to a journey of growth authentically, have self-awareness and oftentimes find themselves trapped into a place where that self-awareness has morphed into self-consciousness, and it can feel more like a curse than a gift, right? It can feel more like a prison. We're like, okay, now what do I do with this? It was easier to not be aware, right? It can feel like that, and I know that. So I want to highlight a couple of things. One is just that self-awareness is a gift when it's harnessed properly. It's not in and of itself a curse. It is a gift. It needs to be properly focused and directed. And it's something to get through, not to stay in. This is the same with, I would say, vulnerability is one of these lies that we've been told, men, that, oh, it's not, it's like fashionable to be vulnerable. It's not. It's not cool. It's not healthy. It's not good to go out in public and around everyone you know, be like, I'm all vulnerable. It's not a smart play. Just tell it, like, straight up. Your vulnerability is something for you to go through, because women don't want your vulnerability. They're not going to tell you this. They don't want your vulnerability. They want your integrated strength. They're not looking for the vulnerable man. They're looking for the man who is present and grounded within himself. So the vulnerability is not what you want to go share. The vulnerability is your own internal process. And it's very connected to the self-awareness, because the self-awareness will bring you, that awareness will bring you to your true vulnerability so that you can process it and turn that vulnerability into a strength. You can integrate, you can grow, heal. But healing is another one of these things where you don't want to get stuck in a cycle. So self-awareness can become unhealthy if we just stay there all the time. You can't stay in self-awareness all the time because it will consume you. You have to direct it appropriately and learn how to master it. Otherwise, it consumes you. It turns into self-consciousness, and the self-consciousness destroys your confidence because you're always second guessing, right? All these things. If you know, you know. If you know the experience, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where it becomes like, man, I wish. Yeah, that was my experience. I'm one of these people. Which most of the guys, again, if you're self-aware, you're probably poetic, artistic, and you've probably been criticized for being too sensitive. This was me, right? And there was. So it was the time, I just felt there was a time where I felt like it would be easier. Like, I wish I could get a lobotomy, right? These are the thoughts that get, right? I wish I could get a lobotomy and just not be so damn aware, because it kind of sucks. It's harder to be awake than it is to just go to sleep, you know? And then maybe I could just move forward without all this inhibition. But at the same time, I felt that conflict of knowing that that's not the answer. Numbing is not the answer. Numbing myself doesn't fix anything, right? I would be throwing away who I am. So I'm not going to lose myself in the process just to achieve a superficial goal. That's not helpful. All right, and that's what it was. A lot of times, just the experience of self-sabotage when moving towards goals. But these things I want to highlight, when the self-sabotage comes up, this is not something to fight and resist and get angry about, but right, that is the place. This is where the awareness can come to what is ready and calling to be healed. Because your future self, your potential self, is calling to you across time and space. It is that mythic self, you could say, the mythic masculine within you waiting to be awakened, that is waiting for you to become, not to put something on. This is my work. We don't put something on. We don't try to become something we're not. We don't fake it till you make it. You become, you pull up out of yourself, you step into yourself. And that is how you become a whole, integrated, centered, grounded, and present man, right? And awareness is part of that process. But awareness without constraint, right, is can ruin your life. So I knew that pain of feeling stuck in it, where it turns more into a prison. And what the turning point for me was starting to understand how to master and direct my own energy, and understanding that the awareness, the self-awareness, is an energy. It's a focus. And this is really this primal, fundamental principle of all of this work of awakening the mythic masculine, is just learning to understand and direct your own energy. Because that is what all of this comes down to. Every emotion that you experience is an energy. Your thoughts are an energy. So it's learning to master and direct your energy. Awareness is energy. What are you focusing on? That's what will grow. So you can't let your energy run you. You master your energy. And that's what makes the difference. The man who is in command of himself is then in command of his destiny, right? You don't get to change the circumstances around you, but you change how you show up in those circumstances and what opportunity you can even be aware of and contain, because you are like a container. And if your container is shallow because it's full of sediment, as it were, right, which is the limiting beliefs, the stuck energy, all this garbage that we carry around, self-consciousness shrinks us, right? Self-consciousness is the shrinking, this, you know, this, and in that shrunken state, you are not in a receiving state. You're not open to opportunity, and opportunity is not open to you because it doesn't attract to the shrunkenness, right? And I'll point out, like, it doesn't mean, going through this process for myself doesn't mean that I don't have self-consciousness now. Like, just making videos is like, oh, do I look all baggy? You know what I mean? Like, probably do. Oh well, right? Like, yeah, it all comes up as soon as I get on freaking camera. I'm like, oh, am I gonna say this right? Am I gonna ramble on? Blah blah blah. All the self-consciousness wants to be. It's noise. Our job, is not to like try to get to a place where there's no noise. You can't. It will never happen. You are surrounded by noise. It's learning to be the man who can step through the noise because you have mastered the direction of your energy, and you are grounded. So you're not shaken by everything around you because you've become unshakable. If you want the step-by-step process for this, my sponsorship today is just me. If you want the step-by-step of going through this process of becoming grounded and centered and integrated within yourself and stepping into your own mythic masculine, my program is on sale right now. I'll put it in the description for $20. Step by step, it'll change your life, guarantee you. Right, so go check that out. But more, right? Of how do we do this? How do you learn to direct your self-awareness so that you can weaponize it so that it serves you? Is learning to realize that your awareness is what brings things to the surface to be healed. And that's why it can feel self-defeating, because a lot of times what bring up to the surface feels like weakness. It feels like a failure point, right? And sometimes it's the dumb stuff, like, oh, well, do my eyes look baggy? I don't know. Do they? Do I look tired? Probably, because I'm a little tired. Oh, like, that's not important, but it's the deeper things, like, will I be a bad person if I have money? Just to you, right? Oh, money would make me a bad person. I don't think I could handle money. So I'm just going to not have money, because unconsciously down here, it doesn't matter. You can think, yeah, just hustle and grind, but it doesn't matter what. You can't override your own energy. You have to shift it. You have to become the person, not wait for the circumstances to change you, because then the circumstances have the power, not you. And that is victimhood. When circumstances, oh, when I get this, when I achieve this, then I'll feel good about. Bull. Change it now. Change it here, because you are him who you want to be. You just haven't awoken him yet. You haven't stepped into it. And the thing that's holding you back is the misguided awareness, which turns into self-consciousness. But when you can build the stamina and the courage to sit with yourself, so this is the very practical steps. Sit with yourself in silence and see what comes up. A man who can't sit in silence is not. I don't know. That's the test of, it's not the pull-up bar. Pull-ups are great, but I'm saying, like, you want to become a man, go sit in silence with yourself. Can you sit with yourself? Because if you can't sit with yourself, if you can't learn to give what to yourself, nothing else will give to you. And that's what I mean by, it's not the external goal, it's not the relationship, it's not the girl, it's you. She'll never fill you if you don't fill yourself. Money will never fill you if you're not filling yourself. Your goal will never make you feel accomplished. You feel accomplished, or you don't, because you're at peace with yourself or you're in conflict. And the awareness, we harness it to look for, where is the conflict. That's the beautiful question. That's the hard question. And it'll take you to a place that feels like hell. And that's the right place to be, brother, is when you feel yourself in hell. When you pull something up that's so painful you don't want to look at it, that is the thing to sit with and to look at. Why does this drive me? Why does this trigger me? Why am I afraid of this? What am I afraid of? Why am I afraid of it? And the best place to start is, what's your goal? What are you moving towards? That's the easiest place. So if you don't have goals, set some goals. I'll talk more about that. And it's in the process. Because you have to know, where are you directing yourself? Who is it that you are seeking to become now? Not waiting to become, but seeking an awakening now. Because there is no other time. There is only now. So don't put it off. Don't wait till tomorrow. Sit with it now. Who am I seeking to become? What is my resistance? This is the place to harness your awareness. What is my resistance? What am I afraid of? Where am I afraid? Don't ask yourself, am I afraid? Because that cocky, wannabe alpha side of you is going to be like, nah, bro, I'm not afraid of nothing. Bull. If you want to lie to yourself, there will never be transformation, because self-deception does not equal transformation. Be honest. Ask the hard questions. Go into your own hell. And there you will be purified. So that's the awareness is seeking to. All of these things are there for a healthy purpose. But when we don't harness its healthy purpose, it consumes us. Much like anger. And I've spoken to that another time because it's such an easy, obvious one. Feels like, oh, anger is bad. It's not bad. It's a very catalytic, cathartic force, but you have to master it. Otherwise, it is bad, right? Its expression is what can be healthy or unhealthy. The emotion itself is not bad. So set aside your judgment. Don't judge and that's key, as you're bringing awareness to your fears, to your doubts, to the inhibitions that are holding you back. And do you see the flip here? It's so fascinating to me that the very thing that creates the inhibition can free you from it. Self-awareness. When it's ruling you, creates inhibition through self-consciousness, and we inhibit ourselves and we don't achieve what we want to achieve, what we know we can achieve. But when you flip the script on it, you have mastered, because you go from slave to master. When you go from slave to master, now you direct it, and it brings to you the answer to your inhibition. But you have to have the courage to go there, to sit with it, to be honest with yourself and say, yes, I am scared of that. Don't deny it. Sit with it. Heal it. Be present to yourself. Of course it's scary. And this is the work that's most lacking. So when you choose to do this, you automatically separate yourself. You put yourself into the 0.1%. It just is. Because honest self-awareness is hard. It takes courage. But that courage will make a man out of you. So I'm going to end it there. If this was helpful, if you're ready, if you're resonating with this and you're ready, you're like, look, I want to go all in. Yeah, I do have coaching spots available. They're limited. As right now, I'm on my way into basic training with the Air Force. On the other side of that, I'll have a new military schedule. So my availability is very limited now, but I do have coaching spaces available. This is the work that I love to do. I'm passionate about. Clients see phenomenal results. It is transformative. It's not just it's not just, transactional, right? This is deeply transformative. So don't bother if you're not ready for that. It's just I'm not the right fit if you're not there. But if this resonates, you want to go deep, reach out. If you want the process, like I said, self-guided process on sale right now for $20. That'll take you through step by step. This is what I do with my clients. I've now just put into a process that you can do on your own. That is down in the description. And subscribe for more content like this, where I'm going to be breaking down these concepts, these principles that are key to your own inner transformation. The key to awakening that mythic masculine potential within yourself that you can feel, you can grasp at, but you haven't quite been able to step into for one reason or another. Subscribe. Let's grow on this journey together. I'm here as your brother in this journey of growth. Leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.